Hi everybody. I would like to talk to you all about washing the lashes after the lash service. I posted a video about this just about 2 days ago. It's around 10,000 views now. All right, this glue has been in here for a couple of days. Can you see the white powder residue that is all across this tray even? You can see exactly where it was sitting. This is what you leave on your client's lashes if you don't wash the lashes straight after the lash service. Please wash your client's lashes. This is a byproduct. It is extremely toxic and needs to be washed off straight after. And a lot of questions have come up. Why do we wash the lashes after doing the service? Isn't that something that we usually tell the clients not to do? And actually, I've been washing the client's lashes after about, I don't know, for 6 years now, so quite a while. And I wanted to share with you all why that is. So to understand why we need to do this, we need to talk a little bit about chemistry, right? So I have drawn up here 2 bottles. Bottle number 1 here, this is meant to be an adhesive bottle. These little molecules in here that are floating around, these are cyanoacrylate molecules. These are all little molecules that are not attached to each other. They're freely floating in their little bottle. This is why our lash glue is a liquid, right? So the main ingredients in lash adhesive are ethyl, ethyl-2, methyl. There's also octyl and butyl cyanoacrylates, but the main one that we usually use is ethyl or ethyl-2 cyanoacrylate, which is also called a monomer. So all of these little things here, let's call them monomers. And I just want to make this really clear. Monomers are our single little cyanoacrylate molecules in the bottle, being a liquid. Now, what happens if we are using a drop of glue and we're dipping it into a lash and then attaching it? First of all, we're having to unscrew our bottle, and then we're going to put a drop of adhesive onto our whatever surface we're using, and then you're dipping it. So as soon as that cyanoacrylate comes out of the bottle, it is exposed to the elements, right? Water, which is always around us in the air, unless we are in a chamber that is free of moisture. H2O is actually what makes the glue harden or set. So the catalyst of something to harden, in our case, it's our cyanoacrylate molecules hardening, is H2O. This is our catalyst. Now, things that can speed up that kind of hardening of the glue, alcohols, which are in a lot of primers. They are in setting liquids. However, setting liquids work slightly different to primers. So this is why I always recommend also not to store your bottles of adhesive next to bottles of primers, because the primer, even though they are shut, they can interfere with the bottles of adhesive and actually make the hardening process happen. But now I want to show you what happens if you were to have this bottle of adhesive open. That means we have moisture entering this adhesive constantly. So assuming we now have this little bottle of adhesive, the cap is unscrewed and moisture is constantly entering, which we know is a catalyst of hardening. This chemical process from going to liquid to a hardened stage is called polymerization. So we're going from something that were monomers that starts to form bonds of those molecules, which is also called polymers. Yeah, so we're going from monomers, single, mono is single, to poly being many polymers. And the whole process is called polymerization. So now all of those molecules that were freely floating around, what they now do is they form strong bonds within our adhesive. But now all of these little molecules are forming chains of polymers, which is called polymerization. So this is now very strong, hardened cyanoacrylate, the super glue in our adhesives. So that polymerization happens as soon as we are exposing our drop of glue to the elements, to H2O. UV lighting even speeds it up as well, yeah? Temperature is one of the biggest factors as well, but the initial thing is H2O. So now we can actually finally chat about why we're washing the lashes after. So we are applying the lashes, right? Now, something that happens in the process of polymerization from liquid state to hardened state is a chemical reaction, polymerization, that actually creates quite a toxic chemical. So if you have seen my video from 2 days ago, I posted in the video, I'm showing that I did a refill on someone and I had 3 drops of glue in a little flower cup. And then I left it out just to show you. Yeah. And I had it on top of a tile or a lash tray. And after 3 or 4 days, that lash glue obviously polymerized fully, being left out, and H2O in temperature starting to harden. And a lot of the little white dust was surrounding the little cups, as well as was basically fully covering the lash tray and even some of the areas around the lash tray. And if you go and wiped it with your finger, you could see that I was picking up a very fine white dust. That happens as we are lashing someone. As we are dipping the glue into the adhesive and we are applying it on someone's eye, that's when polymerization happens. The byproduct that is produced by the chemical reaction of the polymerization is quite toxic, and that settles in a very fine dust all around the eye area and on our tile whilst we're lashing as well. Or if you're using a glue ring, it even settles on your hand. Yeah, you can't see it unless it's been out for like days, but there is something that will settle on the skin, which is toxic. And this is why I recommend to wash your lashes straight after the procedure. And this is not something I recommend for like 2 weeks. This is something I've been doing for 6 years. A lot of people are doing it now, but there's still so much misinformation out there. And this is why I found it so important to share this with you. So now I want to talk about setting liquids and how they help before we're washing the lashes. And when does the nano mister come in, right? Because this is something also that I got asked a lot. There was a lot of questions coming up about it. Number one, nano mister is great to use throughout your lash service. What a nano mister does is it has a very fine mist that falls onto the client's face. You can use it throughout. You can use it to regulate your humidity in your lash room and to basically set the lashes in place a little bit and prevent some of that sensitivity. However, that does not prevent the dust from settling around the eye area. It doesn't prevent the process from happening. So just using a nano mister doesn't take the dust away at the end. And I call it a dust. There's a specific word for it. And I'm not a chemist in terms of cyanoacrylates. It's not cosmetic chemistry, by the way, because a lash glue is not a cosmetic. Yeah, it's industrial grade, essentially. There's also medical grade, but again, medical or industrial is not cosmetic. So I can't tell you what it is because I did study cosmetic chemistry, but it has nothing to do with the actual process. So I don't know all the words for it, but long story short, when this dust settles, that's a byproduct that's produced, the nano mister can't get rid of it. It just helps to speed up your lashing and soothes the eye area. So I would recommend use your nano mister throughout. That's totally fine, right? So where your setting liquid comes in, and this was a question, a setting liquid actually helps to polymerize from the inside out. Imagine you have your, let's make this the natural lash, and then you have your extension and you have your bond between is the lash glue. What H2O does, once you have water coming onto this, it will start to set or polymerize from the outside in. If you put a setting liquid or a super bonder like our Set Me that we have in the Lash Tribe shop, it actually starts to set from within. I have a couple of videos about that as well, when I put a drop of glue and then I have a drop of water and a drop of setting liquid, Set Me. You can see the difference of how it's setting. Setting liquid set from within to the outside. And then when we are washing the lashes after we have set it with the Set Me, we are setting from the outside in. So that means we now have completely sealed that bond. We have polymerized it. We have hardened it. Everything is set. And we have washed away all of the white fine dust around the eye area. And that can be very toxic. And a lot of people can react to it quite sensitively, right? And this is why we're washing after. So the steps are use your primer, Prep and Prime, or your Prep Me from Lash Tribe. Or if you have someone with normal skin, you don't need to prime at all. I only usually prime someone with oily skin. And then you go ahead and do your normal lash service. If it's too dry and your glue is not setting fast enough, use a nano mister or crank up your temperature in your room and make it a bit warmer. That will speed up polymerization as well. But remember, the catalyst is H2O. What speeds it up is UV, temperature, alcohols, and so on and so forth. You can use an accelerator as well, obviously alcohol base, which will speed it up. And then what you would do right at the end, 2 to 3 minutes after you started cleaning up, you finished your set, after 3 minutes or so, use your Set Me, your setting liquid or a super bonder, and then you can wash the lashes after. I use a tiny little bit of shampoo. I do not scrub the lashes. I just put a bit of shampoo like foaming cleanser on, and I very gently work it in the lashes. And then I wash the entire area from the cheekbones up to just above the brow bone, because this is where the dust would settle mainly. It settles elsewhere too, but I tell them, just have a shower tonight, wash your face, and then you're fine. I wash it straight after the procedure. And then the client's lashes are fully set from the inside out and the outside in, and the dust is gone. Now, this was a very, very long explanation, and I really hope that this makes now more sense for people to understand exactly what this is all about. And if you have any questions in regards to adhesives or setting liquids or how everything works, make sure you leave me a comment. But I hope that this has kind of helped to clarify why we are washing after. It does not affect the retention. It feels extremely refreshing for the client as well. And it helps to lessen sensitivities, not allergies, but sensitivities. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.